Hello, everyone. Welcome to BrokeN, Boys. It's episode 100. 100. I'm Mike.
I'm Colin.
And yeah, today we'll be talking about the discography of Taylor Swift. We all knew this was coming for our 100th episode.
Yeah. Been in the works for 100 years.
Yes, yeah. We film one episode a year. We've been releasing them weekly, but these are all 100 years in advance. Yeah. I set them to upload accordingly.
1923. It's a good year so far.
So far, yeah.
Yeah. The 20s is really racking up to be one of the best decades ever.
Calling it the Roaring 20s.
Yeah.
I don't think it can get much worse from here.
Me either.
I mean,
no,
I think we just
got out of
go
a big
up.
world war.
Yeah.
Beat those Germans.
Yeah. The Great War.
Yeah.
I hope there's I mean, we settled that, so we're all good.
Yeah, we were too young to fight in it, but
Yeah. But I mean, America settled that, the Great War.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about that anymore.
No. Never.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't sense any Great Depression in the future.
Yeah, no, I feel pretty good.
Me too, man.
I
but we'll keep you updated in that when we get to BrokeN Boys episode 112. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes in 12 years from now.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be great.
Not even.
Yeah.
6 episodes from now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah, we'll be talking about Taylor Swift in a little bit. Talking about her whole discography. But yeah, I mean, before we get to that, how you doing this week, Colin?
Yeah, I'm all right. Just doing school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's fine. I don't like science, so my 2 science classes are kind of boring.
Mm-hmm.
But
what topics are they?
One's geography and one is weather.
Geography is a science class?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. To me, that feels more like a social studies. I don't know what that would be called at college level, but
geography is like the study of Earth.
Oh, okay. I guess when you think of it that way, I was more thinking like, just locations and shit. Just like history of places. I don't know.
No. That's
okay.
Music major.
Yeah.
Doesn't know anything.
No. I just have to count to 4 and I'm good.
But, those are boring pretty much. But my anthropology class is pretty good. We watched a movie called First Contact, which is about...
Oh, that's the virus movie, right?
Mm-mm.
No?
No, it was about... It was about like 3 brothers from Australia who went to Papua New Guinea in like the 30s.
Mm-hmm.
They, the natives of Papua New Guinea had never ever seen a white guy before.
Yeah.
So they were like, "That's like an ancestor. That's a god right there."
Right.
So they kind of like, a basic story of anybody. Any white man going to another country, taking advantage of them, making them work, killing people.
Has this happened before?
A couple times.
Okay.
I think.
Okay. Gotcha.
But it shot some of the natives, made them work. Bought some of the women and had babies with them, and
goddamn.
Is
there a bright side of this movie?
Not really.
Oh, okay.
It was just, it was a reflective movie that was like, I don't know when it was filmed. Everyone was pretty old in it.
Yeah.
So, the brothers, one of them was like, yeah, we didn't do a whole lot of good stuff. And then the other one was like, none of that happened. We didn't do any of that. Or, well, just, one of the other brother died.
Yeah.
And he was like the big, like, bad. So.
The big bad. Yeah.
But, good movie. Interesting. And then history, we were talking about Martin Luther for the 15th millionth time. I love talking about Martin Luther. He's my favorite Christian.
There you go. I see you've learned a lot in your 15 times of learning about him.
Yep. I love history. I love talking about it, but I'm a little tired of hearing about old Martin Luther. Mm-hmm. Rather hear about Martin Luther King Jr. Honestly, because
his son.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But otherwise, just chilling out, watching Community.
Hell yeah.
Over halfway through season 5, got a little bit more of that left.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll be over with that. It's been snowy this week.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty cold. On Wednesday, I was on my way to my anthropology class, and Thursday I was on my way to anthropology, and I was walking down the sidewalk. A couple people were coming my way, so I tried to step out of the way, and I went whoop.
Did you slip?
Yep.
Uh-oh.
I ate shit. Scraped up my knee and my elbow.
Didn't you eat shit sometime last year,
mm-hmm.
too? I remember you telling a similar story on the podcast.
Well, you were with me one of the times I ate shit.
That's right.
We were walking probably
to the record store
or lunch or whatever. And, they hadn't really salted or shoveled or anything.
Yeah, that's right.
And it was like the decline under the street. And I went,
yeah.
So I have a track record of falling.
Yeah.
But that wasn't good. I fell. They were past me already, but they heard my water bottle hit the ground, and they were like, you okay? I was like, yeah, I'm good, thanks. Got up and I just walked there, and I was like, it was too close to when class started, and I was too far away from the apartment to go back and change or anything, so I just had to go with muddy knees.
Muddy knees. Yeah. That reminds me, I ate shit sometime last year, too, when it was snowy. Because remember, I got out of my car, and I was going a way I don't usually go to, because I think I was avoiding snow or something like that. Like, it was, like, on the street, like, the parking lot. And, like, I could see that it was, like, black ice. For those who don't know what black ice is, if you live in the South or something. It's, like, basically the pavement just looks wet. Like, it looks like it's wet, but it doesn't necessarily look like ice, but that's ice. Yeah. But I saw it, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna like slowly walk over it just because it's on my way there. I remember I stepped on it like pretty much as soon as I did. It was just like an instant slip. I was like, I've never slipped on something that slippery before. Yeah. It was an instant, and like I like fell on my side, like into like a mud patch pretty much. I
think I remember that.
Oh god. I think I had on one of my flannels. I don't remember which one it was, but I like was just starting to get into flannels at that time too. I was like, oh no. My flannel. I kind of had enough time to rub dirt off myself. Actually, I think it was last spring because I remember what class I was going to before doing that. So that was probably about a year ago, but yeah, sorry. Just thought of
that. Winters are a deadly thing around here.
Illinois winter.
Watch where you walk.
Yes.
But, love falling. Love hurting myself.
Don't we all?
Just great. Otherwise, nothing too crazy. Just getting through the early month. Or the early months of 2023, I guess. So, how are you this week, Mike?
I'm fine. Also, not really too much to say.
A lot of Taylor Swift as well.
A lot of Taylor Swift, yes.
I think I was listening to Folklore when I fell.
Oh, nice.
So,
I was listening. What was I listening to? It might have been 1989. I think I was listening to 1989 when I got a really rare drop in RuneScape. I was playing some RuneScape with
that's stuck in your memory.
It is, yeah. Well, obviously not, because I don't even fucking remember what album it was. But I think it was 1989. Because I remember I got distracted from the songs I was listening to, because like my heart just dropped because of getting something like that. It was pretty sick. And now my friends are mad at me because I'm rich. But not like super rich. You don't care.
You're right.
No one cares. But yeah, now I also have an association with the Taylor Swift album. You got Falling. I got Getting Rich.
Yeah. Oh, what a time.
Hey, I'll let you know that drop is worth like $15 in real life. Wow. So
Did you get $15?
No. That's real world trading. I would never do that.
Is that not allowed?
Yeah, it's not allowed at all. People do it, but it's not allowed. But $15 drop. Woohoo.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I forgot I was speaking about my week. I was waiting for you to... Anyways, yeah, a lot of Taylor Swift. Classes are going fine. I'm taking like 2 academic classes, and like one of them is more work than my academic music classes usually are, and I'm like, God damn it, I actually have to do shit for this class. Fuck. But so you know, just getting into the swing of things with that. Are we going for 100?
Well, I guess we gotta.
God. The special lights.
Yeah.
Woo. The lights that barely show up on camera.
It's okay though. They're for us.
This is for us. Yeah. It's for us and the audio listeners.
Yeah.
But yeah, not really too much has been going on. Just in the swing of things. You know, figuring out band. I'm in the top band now. I mentioned. There's like there's like a movement we're doing of a piece where like the whole time it's just fast tonguing clarinet. I'm like, oh fuck. Okay, well, we're here.
You gotta be really good with your tongue.
Gotta be, yeah, good tonguing and good fingering. That's what I said. I thought of that the other day too, because like as music majors, like literally we say the word fingering and like it doesn't affect us anymore.
Right.
Like anymore, that it has no meaning. Someone said something the other day though, where like like no one else had any reaction to it, but I just like thought to myself like, oh yeah, that's not a normal term, and like if anyone heard that out of context, I think like the teacher was telling someone to finger something differently, or I don't know, there was some sus context to it that I was like, oh yeah. A little bit of a reality check of where I was. Yeah, tonguing, fingering, fisting.
Fucking.
That's what French horns do. They fist their French horn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Music major stuff. And clarinets are gay. But
That's factually correct.
that is factually correct. Yeah, anyways, band, whatever, classes, whatever, Taylor Swift. Yeah, you'll hear my thoughts soon. Yeah, the only other thing, I mean, we're starting to do a thing now. We didn't quite do this by last episode, but on Sunday nights, me, Colin, and Vince are all watching Last of Us together.
Yeah.
Colin and I have played the game, Vince has not, so.
You haven't played the game.
Fuck you. I know that game inside and out.
I know you do, but you've never played it. You can't say that.
Colin and I know the game.
I've played the game 5 times, and Mike's played it none.
I've watched like so many playthroughs. PewDiePie, Nova. But yeah, I mean that's pretty cool. Episode was really good. I'm excited to see this week's episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that episode was really good. It was kind of hard watching it with Vince because he wouldn't stop saying how much he hated Tess, but that problem got solved, I guess.
In one way or another.
There was a very sexy scene at the end of the episode.
Yeah, that was hot as fuck. I think we all put like a blanket on our laps for that one. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's kind of hard to talk about Last of Us when we're on pod, though, because it comes out on Sundays, and it's awkward for our recording time, because by the time you guys hear us talk about the show, it's been a week and a day since the episode we are talking about.
True.
So it's kind of that's the thing with Sunday night stuff. But
I don't care, though. I'll talk about it till the end of time.
There you go. Everywhere at the end of time.
Yeah.
Is talking about The Last of Us.
One of my siblings referenced that album while we were at Disney.
Really?
Yeah. There was like a song playing in one of the restaurants. It was like an old-timey song. And they're like, that song was used in that.
Oh, it may be the first one. The first one's pretty iconic.
I don't know. I wasn't listening, but I've never heard Everywhere at the End of Time, so I don't know.
The first one, I mean, the first like album of it is kind of a bop. I mean, it's just old-timey music pretty much, and then it gets terrifying. But
Love that.
wonderful. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much all I did throughout the week. The only other thing to mention is I signed myself up for like a website where I'm doing like commissions, or not commissions, not yet. I do want to do that at some point, probably after school, but where just like gigs, and mostly for like weddings and stuff is kind of what I have there. So I'm playing piano at someone's wedding tomorrow, so hopefully that goes fine. I don't know, it'll be
do you get fed?
Probably not. I don't know. I'll take food if they give me food, but I'm only there for like an hour, so whatever. But
do you play when they walk in, or are you playing like?
No idea. I have just been told I'm playing piano for an hour, and they're fine with the repertoire that I said I'm going to be doing.
Right.
So like modern pop with some older pop stuff, pretty much.
Awesome.
So hell yeah.
Never creep.
Yeah, gonna be playing Creep at their wedding.
You got a microphone as well. You're singing.
Yeah.
This is my song. Pedals.
This is my song. Paranoid Android. But yeah, I'll keep you updated next week on how that goes. Hopefully fine, but you know, we'll see.
Even though it'll be a week or not.
It'll be a week and 2 days. Yeah. I know what you're trying to say. Actually, yeah, I don't know. But cool.
Yeah.
The only music news I have down is talking about Panic at the Disco.
They broke up.
The band broke up.
I can't believe it.
I can't believe all of them mutually agreed to break up. Yeah, I mean...
In the wee hours of the morning a few days ago, Brendan Urie put out an Instagram post that said, "We're pregnant. Peace out."
Pretty much. Yeah, I saw it at like 6 p.m. But yeah, I mean, it really wasn't too much of a shock for me. I mean, we talked about Panic on the channel before, both when Viva Lost Vengeance came out and our Ars Analysis. But like their last few albums haven't really done much for me. I think they're fine. We've been talking how it's the Brendan Urie show. Everyone has been calling that for a while. And when they said it was breaking up, I was like, oh, all right. It kind of didn't really make me sad or anything. I don't know.
It kind of made me sad just because it's like the end of an era.
A little bit, yeah.
I know it's not the same Panic, but like, it was just like, how are you gonna make the most mid album of all time, go on tour where all of your vocals, all your flow ups are put on TikTok for everyone to laugh at, and then just put out an Instagram post and say, "We're done, bye," or "I'm done, bye." Like, I don't know. It's like in the middle of this emo resurgence. Like Paramore's back, My Chemical Romance is back, Fall Out Boy's out of a hiatus. Like it's like everyone's back, and they're like, "See ya."
Yeah,
and it's kind of sad. I was looking forward to maybe, because like there were some glints of hope in Viva Lost Vengeance.
We both talked about that.
Yeah, definitely not a perfect album, but like Viva Lost Vengeance, the song is a banger, and it's like, at some point I would have liked to see Panic return to what it once was, in a way,
Yeah.
And I'm fairly confident in the fact that he might come back just as Brendan Urie at some point.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I was thinking maybe after, a kid, or maybe another or two or something, once he's, settled father and shit. Brendan Urie, like, acoustic album or some shit. I'll take that.
Singing within his range.
Yeah, where his voice isn't fucked up the whole time. Yeah.
I don't know.
I bet, like, it may be a little while until we hear again from him, I guess. But,
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be the last time.
Right. Like he was just like, he was radio silent before Viva Las Vengeance came out.
Right.
And then he releases it, he goes on tour, and then it's over. And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah.
But I saw a TikTok that said that MCR, Fall Out Boy, and Panic can never exist at the same time.
Yeah.
Because I think the first Fall Out Boy hiatus,
My Chemical Romance broke up.
up.
Yeah.
And then and their second hiatus, Panic, Fall Out Boy went on hiatus, they came back, and then MCR broke up, and then Fall Out Boy went on hiatus again. They're back now, and Panic is gone. And My Chemical Romance is back. So
they cannot coexist.
It's not.
Yeah, I saw some on that too. It's just like the Holy Trinity, or every time the Holy Trinity. every time Fall Out Boy comes back, the emo Trinity is broken or something like that. I don't know.
I also saw a bunch of stuff from like Dallin. Like people were looking at old Instagram posts.
Yeah.
They were when he was still in Panic. And, like, apparently Brendan shot him with a fucking pellet gun while he was on stage playing the bass. And he just kind of had to laugh it off. And in the Instagram post originally, it was like, got me good. Mm-hmm. And then Brendan commented, got you, fucker.
Yeah.
And then it was updated to say, throwback to when I was shot on stage with a pellet gun and I had to act like I was funny so I didn't get fired.
Yep.
So
yeah, Dallin and Brendan not on good terms.
No,
nor should they be, honestly, from the stuff I've heard.
Yeah, but Dallin was a wonderful part of Panic, and I loved that era. Yeah. So, just kind of sad to see that. Yeah. But yeah, that happened. It's okay. We'll rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Brendan Urie. And Panic at the Disco. Yeah, I was listening to a lot of people saying Panic at the Disco ended in 2007 when Ryan Ross left. So, yeah. I don't know. But yeah, that was really the only news I had. Do you have anything else that happened this week?
I mean, you sent me that Lil Yachty album.
Oh yeah, I was seeing last night. I'm not sure if it's the same. Actually, I'm curious. I'm gonna check now. But last night, a Lil Yachty album came out. That's apparently like alternative rock.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, it has like an 83 on Album of the Year right now. It's number 1, which is just like insane. The first track is a 94. Last track is a 95. I'm like genuinely curious what the fuck this is.
Brad gave it
an 89. Yeah.
Psychedelic rock, neo psychedelia, psychedelic soul, and funk.
Yeah. And this is, directly after taking the walk to Poland. So
is there any
it's interesting.
Are there any like
features? I think it usually lists them, but I can check. Lil Yachty.
That album cover is also terrifying.
It is, but it's cool. I like it. It's like AI generated shit. Doesn't look like it.
Wow, look at that. All by himself.
Yeah. So I'm probably going to check that out now that we have Taylor Swift out of the way. Because that's just genuinely interesting to me. Like, how the hell does that happen?
What's his like overall score?
Not high. People have not liked his projects as much. I know like his first mixtape got some things like, oh yeah, it's fun. But this like seems to be getting like legitimate respect. So
yeah, interesting.
Yeah,
I might check that out as well.
Yeah, his top tag is Polish. That's funny. Yeah, and God. Yeah, like people were saying like Tame Impala stuff. Or is it here? Yeah, Bro is Tame Impala. That was like the top one at one point.
Interesting.
Lil Floyd. I don't know. I'm genuinely curious what that is, but
we'll see.
Yeah.
But I don't have any more music news.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Harry Styles had a concert yesterday where he ripped his pants.
Oh, where?
Right in his crotch.
Oh.
I think he was saying, what was it? What's the
sushi restaurant?
Yeah, sushi restaurant. And he kind of knelt down a little bit, and as he was like kneeling, it went. Well, his dick didn't come out.
Oh, okay.
But like he ripped, and his face went.
Yeah.
Then he kind of like took a towel and he kept singing.
Yeah.
But that was fun.
Yeah.
And then 1975's doing their UK tour, and they had Maddie had his dad come out and sing "All I Need to Hear." Which was I saw videos of it. He sounded pretty good. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a video recently of 1975. Like they've been having like guests come out every now and then, and on the screen it said featuring guest star Harry Styles, and the crowd's like, ah! And then Louis Capaldi comes out the door. He still got cheers, at least from the angle I saw. Yeah. But like,
yeah, everyone's still cheering.
Louis Capaldi is genuinely really fucking funny.
Yeah. He got down to the microphone. He was like, "I am Harry Styles." Don't be fooled.
Don't be fooled.
Yeah. And Taylor Swift was their first guest. So.
That's true. Taylor was a guest
her
there.
Debut of Antihero on stage.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. I love those British boys.
Those British blokes. Yeah.
But
that's alternate universe broken boys. British blokes.
Broken boys.
Broken boys. Featuring Mike and Colin.
Michael and
I don't fucking know.
Colin.
I don't know. Yeah.
Ready to hop into this?
Yeah, celebrating episode 100.
100, baby, 100.
Woo! So I think
turn that gain up.
What? I won't fuck it
turn
up.
the echo.
I don't know if it's on.
100.
100.
100.
Woo!
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
That may have sounded like nothing.
It might have.
Has a room noise on, so I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, I think we should give slight background to this, just
Okay.
because we may have some people watching this that don't normally watch us.
Hi, Swifties.
What's up, Swifties? You're gonna love us. So for me personally, I have not listened to like much Taylor Swift at all outside of the big hits. The big radio hits that everyone knows. I did like a couple months ago check out Folklore just because I saw a lot of people raving about it. I liked it at the time, and we'll go into detail on if I kept that or better or worse. We'll see. You gotta find out. But like that's the only album experience I've ever had with Taylor Swift, and I liked it. I was intrigued. I've always heard that the deep cuts are the best parts about her albums, and the singles are usually the worst parts. That's what I've heard a lot, at least. So yeah, I kind of went into all these with an open mind. Just I know it's not music for me typically, so
Yeah.
just wanted to see how that would go. How about you though? What was your Taylor Swift exposure?
I'm pretty much the same. I, everyone knows the big hits. Can't escape them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've never listened to an album. I think I tried to listen to Folklore like once or twice, but I never did. I just, I was very interested in what I was gonna think, and but yeah, I just the big hits really. So,
yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Sorry, Swifties, in advance if you don't like what we think.
Yes. Sorry for that, but also recognize that this is first listenings, and we listened to 10 Taylor Swift albums in a week. I think this is probably our biggest artist analysis we've done. Kanye also had 10 albums. I probably shouldn't mention his name in this video.
I'm gonna let you finish.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you finish.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Kanye, back before he was, I don't want to say before, but before he was an open racist and anti-Semite, we did an artist analysis on him. He also has 10 albums, but within that were Jesus is King and Yay, which are both like 30 minutes, or if that. And so like it's probably similar length-wise, but we also listened. Oh, that's one other thing. We listened to the Taylor's versions for both Fearless and Red. We listened to the Taylor's versions of those, so hour and a half and 2 hours for those two albums.
When we were listening to those, I was kind of like, I kind of regret doing this, but at the same time, I feel like it's more kind of respectful towards her, I guess.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Also, it kind of altered my opinion on one of them too, so we'll see when we get there.
Did you listen to the original version?
No, I just saw where the original version stopped, and then like where the Taylor version stuff started, and it flipped my opinion one way or the other. So yeah.
All right. Well, I wanna hop into this.
Cool. Yeah, sure. Do you want me to go first?
You can. Yeah.
Sick. All right. T Swizzle. First album, Taylor Swift in 2006. I find it kind of funny that self-titled records are typically titled like that to make a statement by saying, this is me and this is what my music represents. And then there's this album, which sounds like basically none of the other ones. On paper, I don't like a lot of these aspects. A mainstream pop country release made by a 16-year-old and her team with numerous mentions of teenage love, blue jeans, God, and fetishizing pickup trucks. But to be honest, I enjoyed this more than I thought I would. There's a lot of really solid choruses on here, which definitely hints as to what her style will actually become in the next few releases. I also enjoyed the general instrumentations and production throughout. There's a pretty consistent bluegrass feel on a lot of these tracks, with their sprinkles of mandolin, banjo, and fiddle, which is pretty soothing. There's also some nice bass and drums on here, even though it's nothing too fancy. There wasn't a lot of standouts for me personally, but I felt like everything was fairly listenable. It reminded me of the country I grew up listening to, because my parents listened to country, like older country, a lot when I was younger, but it reminded me of that in a positive way. And I just said, pretty decent record. My favorites were Teardrops on My Guitar. I still remember that one now, so... I don't remember any of the others, I think. But I also liked Should Have Said No, Tim McGraw, Our Song, and The Outside, not 21 Pilots. And my least favorites were Stay Beautiful, Invisible, and Cold As You. And overall, I gave it a strong 6. I thought it was an enjoyable listen.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, this is about what I expected before jumping in. It's that mid 2000s stadium country that everyone loves to hate.
Yeah.
And that I thought I'd dislike more than I thought I did. Or that I thought I'd dislike more than I ended up.
That is a brain fart right there.
Yeah.
I thought I disliked more than I thought I did.
The James and the Shame record last year gave me an appreciation for those country instrumentals. So I enjoyed those. And most of the lyrics were pretty harmless. Most of them. Taylor has a great voice and lended to the style well. But that being said, a lot of the songs were just kind of in one ear, out the other. One of which being Tim McGraw, which I found to be a very strange way to open the album. Though I did like the juxtaposition of pictures to burn right afterwards. So pretty solid overall. Just nothing extremely special in my opinion. My favorites were A Place in This World, Our Song, Teardrops on My Guitar, Should Have Said No, and I'm Only Me When I'm With You. And my least favorites were Tim McGraw, The Outside, and Stay Beautiful.
All right.
And I give it a late 6.
Cool.
So,
yeah. I thought it was funny because when you said that it's generally inoffensive, I think I'd seen this a long time ago.
Was it the homophobic line?
Yeah. Yeah. I saw it a long time ago, but it came up on my TikTok last night.
It came on mine this morning.
Yeah. Yeah. If you know, you know, I guess.
Yeah.
But,
I think Pictures to Burn was the song that
was it?
done.
Okay. I don't remember.
And it's like a line where she's like, you're going to tell your guy friends this, but I'm going to tell him you're gay.
Yeah.
In like a derogatory way.
Gay, derogatory, yeah.
And then that got changed. So,
yeah.
But you can still find that on YouTube. So.
Yeah, the original version.
Overall, pretty solid start to her discography. Just not where we'll be going stylistic wise for the rest of this.
Not really, no.
But next we have Fearless. We listened to Taylor's version, but the original came out in 2008, and this one and her version came out 2 years ago in 2021. And I begin by saying I was expecting improvement, but not this much. While I know Taylor's version is being delivered by a 30-year-old woman, the lyrics are a lot more mature overall for an album that only came out 2 years after the first one. The instrumentals are a lot more rock forward, with the country stuff taking a backseat while still kind of being there when needed. Taylor's first record had Teardrops and Our Song, which were good, but this album has bangers like Love Story and You Belong With Me, which are infinitely better in the radio hit style, the radio hit department.
Yeah.
The original 13 tracks were overall really solid, but the extras kind of got lost on me, which I won't hold against the album as a whole. But I thought this album was super solid. And my favorites were You Belong With Me, Love Story, Forever and Always, The Best Day, You're Not Sorry, and Don't You. And my least favorites were Hey Steven, Superstar, and Today Was a Fairy Tale.
Oh, yeah, that was another big one.
And my rating was a light 8.
Oh, shit. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Fearless Taylor's version, 2008, 2021. This record feels like a cross between the first album and the pop music she will soon go on to make. I don't know how much country influence is on Speak Now, as I was writing that, but it is already dwindling here. The instrumentals are still rooted in pop country, but her vocals are leaning into it a little bit less of the country accent. And to be honest, I also did not hate this project. Everything on here is very easy on the ears, and nothing struck me as bad, which is impressive for such a large body of work, because this is the Taylor's version, hour and a half long. Yeah. That being said, there is a lot of sameness throughout here. There's a few tracks that switch up the tone and vibe, but if you were to play me any of these tracks right now, right after I listened to it, I likely couldn't distinguish between them if my life depended on it. But like I said, it's all good, and there are even some moments where I would call it great. It's obvious these songs were not written with my input in mind, but I can see the appeal from an outside perspective. Very long, but not bad in any sense. And I gave a little thumbs up emoji. My favorites were You Belong With Me, White Horse, The Best Day, Love Story, Forever and Always, Mr. Perfectly Fine, The Way I Loved You, and 15. My least favorites were Hey Steven, Jump Then Fall, Change, Come In With the Rain, and Today Was a Fairy Tale. And overall, I gave it a light 7. And I just want to give a shout out to Love Story, the cover by Black Midi, because that's a wild track. Actually, no, it's pretty normal for them. That's what makes it wild. Yeah,
pretty good record.
I like it quite a bit. I agree.
You Belong With Me, fucking banger.
It is. Yeah, that was my
song.
favorite. That's probably one of my favorite just hits of hers in general.
Yeah,
after listening through the whole discography, but yeah, we'll get there when we get there.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Speak Now, 2010. This one actually surprised me a bit. It definitely pulls sounds from the last two records, except this time there's a greater emphasis on interesting song structures. Things are still fairly formulaic, but they break away from those pop forms in subtle and interesting ways to make the whole record feel fresh, to me at least. Also, while there is still some pop country on here, it also has a bit of a rock flair underlying the whole thing, with some great drums and electric guitars throughout. I think Taylor's songwriting feels a little more matured on this project as well, and I was actually getting into some of the lyrics. The track lengths can go past 5 minutes, like quite a bit, but I never really minded it, except on Last Kiss, which was a little too slow for my liking. The main thing that holds me back in this album is that it does get a little too Disney Channel original movie for me at points. But I have vague nostalgia for that sound, and it's not really done in a cringy way. It's just a little in that pocket, which makes me, I don't know, not for me. I enjoyed these songs a pretty decent amount, which I wasn't expecting from the early Taylor albums. My favorites were Dear John, mine Innocent, Enchanted, Back to December, and Long Live, and my least favorites were Last Kiss, just because that track was really slow. And then I also was a little, I guess, just iffy on Speak Now and The Story of Us. And overall, I gave it a light 8.
All right. Speak Now, the album where the country died and the rock thrived, just before the dive into the pop. This album is pretty good, though. Plenty of love songs, of course, but also some more insightful and emotional tracks, which haven't been super prevalent in the past couple albums. Her voice is great, of course, and the one country song here, and the only radio bop that I can remember off this album is pretty good. The biggest highlight is probably Dear John, which is a 7-minute diss track towards John Mayer.
Is that track actually 7 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even notice that when I was listening to it.
It's 7 minutes long. It's a diss track towards John Mayer and their relationship together, which had quite the age gap. It's insightful and deep. Good album overall. Didn't like it as much as Fearless, though. My favorites were Dear John, Enchanted, Haunted, Mean, and Back to December. And my favorites were Mine and Never Grow Up. And I give it a light 7.
All right. Cool.
We swapped.
A little bit, yes. All right, cool.
All right. Next we have Red, Taylor's version. Original came out in 2012. This one came out in 2021. Everything I said about Speak Now is pretty much the same here. The rock is still here, but that pop is really peeking through quite a bit. The insightfulness is around as well, with some of the most mature stuff she's written thus far. All Too Well is beautifully sad, but doesn't make me hate it doesn't make me hate Jake Gyllenhaal as much as Dear John made me have an ick towards John Mayer. But this is the Taylor that I know from growing up. These mega hits are here. Those mega hits are here, and while they give me nostalgia, I Knew You Were Trouble is by far the best of the three on this record. This album only lost me for a few songs, but a lot of it is pretty damn good, and also very sad. There's a lot of really sad songs on here, but even a lot of the bonus tracks were good. Shout out Phoebe. This has by far been my favorite of the past 4 albums. But my favorites were I Knew You Were Trouble, All Too Well, Ronin, Red, State of Grace, Nothing Now, and The Last Time. State of Grace also has a really pretty acoustic version on the bonus tracks. My least favorites were Stay, 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 which I thought was really fucking annoying.
It's like Old Navy commercial.
Yeah, that it's a really shallow love song. It's really annoying. I didn't like Starlight either, and I didn't like Everything Has Changed. But I give it a light 9.
All right. Okay. Red, Taylor's version. 2012 originally, 2021 Taylor's version. Well, this was confusing. I have a feeling this may be my most controversial take of her discography. This album felt a little off to me, like it didn't know what it wanted to be. The country vibes are pretty much gone here, which is fine, but I'm confused at what the rest of the record is supposed to be in its absence. Sometimes it's singer-songwriter, other times it's fully produced pop anthems, and I feel like they don't mesh very well with one another. And going off of that, I found I did not like a lot of the production choices on this album in general. This is the first time I've run into tracks that I'm actually familiar with, like you were talking about. Like, this is the era where I guess our cognitive brain started coming into play. So, things I'm actually familiar with, like We Are Never Getting Back Together or I Knew You Were Trouble. And damn, these songs did not age well for me, personally. I know they were redone for Taylor's version, but they stick out like sore thumbs on this track list, along with all of the other pop tracks. What saves this album for me are the more acoustic cuts. I feel like Taylor's style fits them a lot better than this 2011 era mainstream pop vibe. I know it gets poppier as her discography goes on, so I'll see if that sways my opinion at all. But I really was not feeling much of the standard edition outside of a few key tracks. However, the additional songs towards the end, the Taylor ones from the vault or whatever, are way more focused and consistent, and there was enough of them to raise my enjoyment of this album up a little bit. There's a lot on here I just personally wasn't feeling. But All Too Well 10-minute version, very great. Also, the original is also very good. And Begin Again, I remember liking a lot too. And then some other ones that I thought were all right. God damn it, I want my scroll wheel. Okay. That I thought were all right. Were Sad, Beautiful, Tragic, Better Man, Everything Has Changed, The Moment I Knew, and Treacherous. And my least favorites were Stay, Stay, Stay. I Knew You Were Trouble. I really did not like this track on repeat, to be honest. I don't know. Girl at Home, Starlight, Message in a Bottle, and Red. And overall, I gave it a decent 6.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know. I knew You Were in Trouble when it came out. I was like, banger! I remember this song. I love this
song. For me, it didn't fit at all with anything else going on.
Yeah.
It was in a way that felt like just... I don't know. Really, I remember there was an acoustic cut right beforehand and then an acoustic cut right afterwards. And I was like, what the hell? This is weird whiplash. Also, I just didn't really like the EDM kind of production on it anymore. It wasn't produced that great, I felt like.
Yeah, that's fair. But State of Grace was a beautiful way to start the album. I liked Red as well. Yeah. But
yeah.
I don't know. The first 3 songs were good acoustic cuts, and then I Knew Your Trouble came on. I was like, all right. And then All Too Well was another sad acoustic song. The 10-minute version kind of felt pointless to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was just like, this song is already 5 minutes. Why do you need to add another 5 minutes onto it?
Yeah.
I feel like it was just done for the video, but at the same time, I don't know. Maybe I need to re-listen to it. It was right at the end of the 2 hours and 10 minutes, so I was like,
yeah.
just needs to be over.
I liked them about evenly. It was just like I just chose that one because like it's more impressive to have 10 minutes me still like it the same amount.
Yeah,
But
no, that's fair.
Yeah,
I think I listened to it and I was kind of like, it's good. But what was the point?
Yeah.
But like the other radio hits, 22 and We Are Never Getting Back Together, those ones annoyed me a lot more than I Knew You Were Trouble. Like
really, 22 got on my nerves more than I thought it would.
Yeah.
I thought I actually kind of liked that song, but then I listened to it and I was like, oh no, I actually don't really like. And We Are Never Getting Back Together, I was a little just in the middle on. Like I like some parts of it, but
I don't know. Just I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's one of my hotter takes. I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like that too.
I don't know.
I like
it was just
a lot.
Yeah, no, it's all right.
I'm with you, Swifties. This guy, fuck him.
Oh.
Find his address.
No. Don't do that. They'll do it. Okay. Moving on. I know you all want to hear more from me. Next, we got 1989. Don't get it confused though, because it came out in 2014. This record sees Taylor really settling into the pop space she's been toying with the last couple records, and it feels way more focused than those last few attempts. Here we get pop tracks with the spacious pop production of 2014, making for an interesting listen. I think these instrumentals have more character than the pop counterparts on Red, leading to me being able to turn off my brain off a little bit more with some of the pop tracks on here. I still didn't love this album, but I cannot deny that there are some catchy bangers on here. But there's also a lot of mediocrity that does absolutely nothing for me. There's a lot of formulaic stuff on here, as well as tracks I've been hearing for nearly a decade now. But it's still mostly enjoyable at the end of the day. Not too much to say about this one, other than it's good. It's all right. And my favorite was Style, This Love, Blank Space, I Know Places, Wildest Dreams. And I didn't expect to, but I did kind of like Shake It Off. I was like, everything other than the bridge. The bridge, I don't like that part. But I was like, you know what? Why not? My least favorites were Welcome to New York. I remember there was a synth on that one. I just thought was really annoying. All You Had to Do Was Stay, Bad Blood. And overall, I give it a light 7. I thought it was all right.
All right. This is where I stray away from the ratings on Album of the Year and stuff. But
Colin's hot takes.
1989. I know this album is loved by a lot of people. But so all the stuff I really enjoyed from the last few records has kind of gone away here. This record feels a lot more like made for radio Taylor Swift, and this is. This
probably has her most radio hits on it, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is radio Taylor that I don't really like. I didn't genuinely hate anything here, but there was a lot less that I genuinely liked than the previous records as well. It's not awful, but it really wasn't anything special to me either. It's the insightful stuff is missing for a lot of the album, and until like the last few songs. But those just didn't hit as hard as songs on the past couple records. I don't know, just kind of mid. But my favorites were Clean, This Love, Style, Wildest Dreams, and I also like Shake It Off. I thought I hated it.
Yeah, we're in the same boat there. Yeah.
I hated it when it came out.
Yeah, I know that was played a lot when it came out, so it could just be lingering feelings from that.
Yeah. My least favorites were Out of the Woods, Bad Blood, and Welcome to New York. And I give it a strong 5.
Oh, damn. All right.
So, yeah, it's mid.
Yeah.
To me, at least.
Cool. I mean, to be fair, I was planning on giving Red a 5 as well until the Taylor's version tracks came on. I was like, okay, well, since we're rating the Taylor's version and I like these tracks a lot more, that boosted it up for me a bit. So maybe 1989 Taylor's version will sway you to a 6 as well.
Here we go. Reputation.
Oh, yeah
2017.
Everyone's favorite album.
Generic? Yes. Her worst album? Up to this point, definitely. Interesting, kinda. This record is so strange. It has the only stuff I've actively disliked thus far, but also her trying to do something different. It's also her trying to do something different, so I want to applaud her. It can be cringy and just straight up boring for a lot of the album, but it's not the absolute worst thing I've ever heard. it's bad, and a lot of it went in one year and out the other. But yeah, its reputation does precede it. Get it? Reputation.
Yeah.
But my favorite,
good one.
Thank you. My favorites were New Year's Day, Don't Blame Me, So It Goes, Delicate and Dress, and my least favorites were Endgame, I Did Something Bad, Dancing with Our Hands Tied, and Look What You Made Me Do. And I gave it a decent 4.
All right. Cool. Yeah, that was a bad pun that you made. Reputation 2017. So Reputation's reputation kind of precedes it.
Should have known.
Should have known I was trouble. Yeah. Even I heard about this reception when it came out just because it was pretty cringe. You've got this ex-country white girl venturing into the worlds of hip-hop and trap production, attempting to fuse the styles with mainstream pop. Not to mention the fact that this is now the edgy Taylor, because she killed the old one. Because she's dead. Yeah, it's a little hard to stomach at several points throughout here. Although I gotta say, I like this one a little bit more than I thought I was going to. There are some genuinely nice synth pop and low-key electronic tracks mixed into the album. The production isn't always great. In fact, it's bad at a lot of points. But there are times when it's actually pretty punchy and nice to it. For instance, I've always found Look What You Made Me Do to be a bit insufferable. But the actual instrumental actually, it has a nice character to it. Like, it has like nice strings. It has a cool little build to the chorus. The chorus isn't great, but the build is cool. Yeah, this happens a few other times throughout, and it led to me finding a chunk of these tracks to be perfectly tolerable and actually pretty decent. But this also has some of the lowest lows so far. I can only pray that we don't have to hear Taylor rap anymore after this. And hopefully this edgy persona gets killed off after this season. Also, side note, Olivia Rodrigo definitely ripped off New Year's Day on One Step Forward, Three Steps Back. It's like the exact same piano progression with the same production.
Taylor helped to write One Step Forward, Three Steps Back.
Really?
Yeah.
She may have just been given writer's credit because of the piano line or something, because it's.
I don't know. I thought I heard.
Really?
I thought I read somewhere that she
I don't know.
Wrote it.
I don't know. I didn't know that there was actually a credit on there. If so, then she didn't rip it off. But I didn't realize how similar they were. I still love that song, One Step Forward and Three Steps Back. But damn, that influence was a little on the nose. Yeah. My favorites were Don't Blame Me, Dancing with Our Hands Tied, which you had in your least favorite. I don't even remember that song, though, to be honest.
It was just boring to me.
Yeah. Delicate, Getaway Car, and New Year's Day. And my least favorites were I Did Something Bad, This Is Why We Can't Have Nice Things, Endgame, Gorgeous, Look What You Made Me Do, and King of My Heart. Overall, I gave it a decent 5.
All right.
That was all right.
Yeah. Songwriters, Olivia Rodrigo, Taylor Swift, and Jack Antonoff.
Wait, Jack Antonoff was on the... Mm-hmm. I wonder if that's just because he produced the Taylor track, though. I don't know.
I mean...
Sometimes writing credits get
composition and recording.
Here. Sometimes writing credits is given like that when something has a clear influence.
The song interpolates the piano chords from Swift's New Year's Day.
Interpolates it. Okay.
The final track in her 6th studio album. Rodrigo stated that she had the verse and chorus of One Step Forward, Three Steps Back, and decided to play it over the chords of New Year's Day, which he thought were beautiful. Okay, maybe it is just the piano then.
Gotcha. That's probably why Jack Antonoff's there then too.
Yeah.
But okay, interesting. So yeah, Orad didn't rip it off, I guess, if she gave credit.
Swift and Orad.
Yeah, T Swizzle and Orad, hell yeah. But yeah, decent 5 on that one. Not great a lot of times, but also not awful. Yeah, cool. Then we go to 2019 with Lover. Now she's not edgy. Now she's a lover.
3-year time or 2-year time gap, I guess.
Hell,
it was 3 years between Reputation and Red, I think.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, Lover 2019. It's fitting that this album opens up with a song about indifference because I really don't have any strong feelings about this one. It's all very listenable and only has rare moments of cringe in contrast to the last album, of course. But while I say it's listenable, not a lot really stuck out to me as a whole. I did really like The Archer, but nothing else felt as interesting as the vibe of that track. again, I enjoyed some of the more low-key synth poppy moments sprinkled in here, and the production's actually pretty killer throughout the album, which I think I watched some of the Fantano's Taylor Swift reviews last night, and I think he mentioned that this is the first one that Jack Antonoff was part of, so that's probably why the production sounds good. Yeah, the production's pretty killer throughout the album, but
that wouldn't make any sense for New Year's Day and Reputation, because Jack Antonoff...
Maybe he just wrote one song. If so, and that was one of the better songs. Yeah, the production's pretty killer throughout the album, but I'm just kind of bored of this pop sound, to be honest. She does it well, but not in a way that captivates me personally. I can see why she switches up to a folk style after this, and I'm excited to revisit that one now that I have all of the Taylor lore behind me. But as for this one, it's okay. Not my favorite, not my least favorite. My favorites on the album were The Archer, Soon You'll Get Better, Lover, Death by a Thousand Cuts, Daylight, Cruel Summer, and It's Nice to Have a Friend. And my least favorites were Me, Rip Brendan Urie. Yeah, this killed Brendan Urie. Miss Americana and The Heartbreak Prince, and I Think He Knows. And overall, I gave it a decent 6.
All right. Yep, love her. This is another weird one. You know, I like the aesthetic, but a lot of the songs are just pretty boring and generic, with a few just being straight up bad. The love songs from earlier in Taylor's discography feel so much more genuine, and a lot of these just feel shallow, which is truly interesting to me, considering how far we are into her discography. But, you know, I listened to this. I also listened to this while doing a very frustrating assignment for school, so that may have influenced my feelings.
Bubblegum pop isn't how I would go for that.
Yeah, it might have influenced my feelings on this record, but either way, I just wish I had enjoyed it more. My favorites were Lover, Cornelia Street, Death by a Thousand Cuts, Soon You'll Get Better, and False God. And my least favorites were Me, Paper Rings. Paper Rings was so fucking annoying.
I remember liking something on that song, but not liking something else.
Yeah. London Boy and You Need to Calm Down. And I give it a light 5.
Okay. You need to calm down in there? You're homophobic?
No, she is. Remember?
She redeemed herself, I guess.
15 years earlier, she was saying different things.
Yeah, well.
Even if she didn't write those lyrics, it might have been the 30-year-olds.
Maybe.
All right. But here we go. Folklore 2020. Ha, there we go. All we needed was a global pandemic to put everyone in the mindset to make killer music.
Hell yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Taylor went off here, folks. The power of the folk ignited within her, and she made some beautiful, insightful, and very melancholy music that everyone needs at least a little bit of in their life. Her vocals, the production, the lyricism, all extremely lush and beautiful. I loved pretty much every minute of this album, and it was a breath of fresh air. With this being the fourth one I listened to in one day, it was a breath of fresh air. With this being the last of the four albums I listened to in one day.
Yeah.
So bravo T Swift, you knocked it out of the park with this one. My favorites were Cardigan, Exile, August, Epiphany, Hoax, and My Tears Ricochet. And my least favorite was Mad Woman. I liked it, but it was kind of just fine. And I give it a decent 9.
Cool. Yeah, Folklore. Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. I truly appreciate this album a lot more in the context of her discography. The shit is killer through and through. The gorgeously intimate pianos and guitars, the raw and matured vocals and lyrics, the booming bass of Bon Iver's voice, and Taylor playing into all of the sounds that she has been best at over her entire discography, which is stripped back singer-songwriter cuts. As I was going through, I kept trying to find a song to put into my least favorites, and there was really only one that I thought was just okay. Every song that I don't mention in that section of the review, like in my best or least favorites, I found to be pretty good at worst. But really, the emotional and sonic maturity of this album is honestly a joy to listen to. I can see why this one has gotten rave reviews from both fans and outsiders alike. It's kind of like Trench in that way, except now we're the outsiders. We're on the outside in the summer heat.
I wish.
But yeah, we're the ones giving it the acclaim this time. Anyways, good. I didn't know how to end a lot of these reviews.
Cool.
My favorites were Cardigan, Exile, Invisible String, The One, Hoax 7, and This Is Me Trying. And my least favorite was Mirror Ball. I thought the production wasn't that great on it, and it was just a little boring. But that was literally the only low light of the album for me. And overall, I gave it a strong 8. Very strong 8s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's your turn.
All right.
No, I liked that album a lot. Very good.
I did too. Very good.
I think that Taylor and Hozier should do a song together.
Ooh, that would work. That'd be pretty good. Hell yeah.
I got Bon Iver and Hozier mixed up. So.
Oh, did you say Hozier?
No.
Oh, okay.
But I was thinking while I was listening to the
album.
album.
Oh, you meant to say Bon Iver?
No, I was like listening to the album. I was like, Bon Iver, that's the guy from the God of War song. And then I was like,
gotcha.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Not really. A little older, I think.
Yeah.
But this is my weekly reminder that I need to listen to Bon Iver. But
I need to listen to Hozier.
Yeah, that too. Actually, yeah. But yeah, moving on to Evermore. We're back. Another dose of indie folk. Never hurt anyone. That's what I always say. It's practically my catchphrase at this point. He'll catch on soon. I hope. I was tired when I fucking heard this. This was my last one of 3 or 4. So, anyways, this album is also good, but it may be good that she stopped at 2 for this cycle of singer-songwriter cuts. Considering I was already feeling some diminishing returns on this project. Again, I don't think there's any bad cuts on here. There's a couple that are a bit more mid than anything on Folklore, but it's all generally pretty good. We get some more stripped-back instrumentals, Taylor's gorgeous low range, which I forgot to mention on Folklore, but that shit got me feeling something. In 2 songs in 5/4 in this economy? I'm a nerd. Yeah, this one does a little more experimentation with the instrumentals, but I didn't feel any of them connecting with me as hard as Folklore. But it's still very enjoyable. It's still a very enjoyable release, and one that works well as a bonus batch of content from what will probably be my favorite era of T-Swift to date. And my favorites were Evermore, Marjorie, Willow, Tolerate It, Gold Rush, No Body, No Crime, and Ivy. And my least favorites were Dorothea, Happiness, and Closure. And overall, I give it a decent 7.
All right. Yeah, Evermore. This is just some more of that gourmet shit from before. Same year, same Taylor, same style, and I like this one quite a bit as well. She does the style very well, and I'm glad these 2 albums came out. I'm glad these 2 albums came about. They show her maturity over the years, and aren't all just shallow love songs that can get radio play at any given moment. I didn't love this one as much as Folklore, but there's still plenty to love. I know Midnight's will definitely not be in this style, but I'd love to see her return to it at some point. My favorites were Ivy, Willow, Evermore, Cowboy Like Me. Cowboy Like Me surprised me from the name. I was like, I don't know about that, but I got to it. It was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And then Happiness, Gold Rush, and Champagne Problems. And my least favorites were Coney Island and 'Tis the Damn Season. And I give it a decent 8.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Good record.
Yes, I agree.
I'm sad that's the end of that era, but we'll maybe some point she'll come back to something like that.
I don't think it'll be the last time. Yeah.
I hope so. Hoping for another COVID, baby.
Crossing my fingers.
Yeah, but here we are. We've arrived at the last Taylor Swift album up to this date, up to this point of January 27th, 2023. But yeah, we got Midnights from last year, 2022. I knew change was coming, but I want to go back. This isn't an awful album, but it sure is mid. There are some positives though. It's consistent with the sound that it wants to use. Some of the synths are nice, and her voice is good, of course. But there are a lot of weird production choices, like those low voice effects they use in a couple of songs, and that really, those really took me out of it. There's also like Reputation moments peeking through at some points, like edgy moments I was like, oh, not again. But it's nowhere near as good as the last couple albums. But hey, all good things must come to an end at some point, I suppose. But my favorites were Lavender Haze. I thought that was a really good start to the album. Mastermind, which I thought was a pretty good ending to the album. You're on Your Own Kid, Antihero, which I thought, from the TikTok song, I was kind of like, I don't love that. But the rest of the song was pretty good. Karma, and my least favorites were Vigilante Shit, Maroon, and Midnight Ruin, or Run, I don't know. I give it a light 6.
All right.
That's Midnights, baby.
Cool. Midnight's 2022. We made it, folks, and what a better way to end this album listening than on another album that didn't really do much for me. Midnight's is fine. It reminds me of a moodier version of Lover, but in a way that is pretty fitting to her sound. There aren't as many highlights as Lover, but there also aren't as many lowlights. Taylor's voice and songwriting are still good, but there wasn't much about this album that stuck out to me on a production or sound end. In fact, this was probably the most in-ear and out-the-other experience of my listening thus far. Could it be that it's because I've listened to 10 Taylor Swift records in the last week? Possibly. Could it also be that I find this particular pop style of hers to be pretty uninteresting at this point? Equally possible. All I know is that a lot of people labeling this record as Midnights is one of the more accurate things that have been said against Taylor Swift. It's aight. My favorites are Karma, Bejeweled, Lavender Haze, and Maroon, and then my least favorites are You're on Your Own Kid and Vigilante Shit, and I also gave it a light 6.
Look at that.
Yeah, we agree for once.
10 records, 100 episodes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Divide that by 10, you get 10.
It couldn't have been more perfect, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was kind of hoping for like Radiohead or
even
the
Beatles. Yeah, Beatles would have been good 100.
Yeah.
I mean, this is so
I'm not
good.
mad at
no,
it.
me neither. No, this is definitely an interesting thing.
Yeah. 100 episodes, our first female artist analysis.
Uh-huh. And our last. That's a joke.
You sure?
I hope, at least. You're the one who makes the wheel.
I clear every artist with you before I put it on there, or after I put it on there. I'm like, is this okay? Paramore's also on there.
Yeah.
So we need more. Yeah. If you have any suggestions for female artists to put on the wheel, let us know.
Yeah.
I guess we could put Lucy Dacus on there.
Yeah, we could put Lucy on there. Or maybe like Lana or something.
I don't know.
Okay.
Lana.
Up to you,
No, we could put her on there.
I don't know.
All right, but that's 10 albums. We have our overall statements. Do you want to start? Do you want me to start? What do you want to do?
Sure. Yeah, I can do mine.
All right.
Cool.
Fine.
Overall, do you want to do yours?
No, it's fine. Go.
All right. I don't know. Make such a big deal about this every single time.
Asshole.
Don't talk about my asshole.
Fucking his asshole.
No. Okay, overall thoughts. Even though my scores felt a little stagnant all throughout this listening, I realized I was giving a lot of 6s and 7s. I really did find more enjoyment in her music than I thought I would. I've only known her for her big hits, but I had also heard that her deep cuts are the ones that make people fans. And that totally makes sense, as I agree that her singles are more hit or miss than the rest of the project. But I ended up finding a lot of enjoyment in her songwriting and ability to write catchy hooks on songs that otherwise would have gone in my least favorite section. She absolutely deserves her fame and recognition, and it's cool to see such a big star that is pretty much in control of her own artistic output. I personally have a much stronger gravitation towards her singer-songwriter styles, whether that be in country, pop, or folk. I gravitate more towards those than I do her pop tracks. There's exceptions on both ends, but that's how I felt pretty much throughout this whole listen. Also, edgy Taylor is not a vibe that worked for me pretty much ever, but I do recognize that these songs are not written for me, any of them really. I'm not her target audience, and that's completely fine. There's a lot to appreciate from the sidelines, and I definitely took some tracks away from this that I wouldn't have known otherwise. I'm not exactly sure where she goes from here, but I wouldn't mind seeing her flesh out more sounds in the veins of Folklore and Evermore in terms of acoustic music. I think she would do well on the Broke pop record, akin to something like OK Human or Pretty Odd or something in that range. or even delving deeper into a folk sound with a little bit less of the pop influence. Whatever she's going to do will be huge, but I hope in the future I find as much enjoyment in another one of her records as I did with Folklore. And overall, I gave her a light 7 as an artist score for my enjoyment, obviously.
All right. Yeah. This was an interesting one. We have heard Taylor Swift songs. They're unavoidable, whether you love them or you hate them. But there's honestly a lot more good in there than I was expecting there to be. Sure, there's a lot of generic pop and shallow love songs, as I've said, throughout. But there's also a lot of emotion and vulnerability in her music. She's bounced around genres and styles for better or worse. And there are albums that I would definitely own at some point. But, overall, pretty solid, T-Swift. Pretty solid. And I also gave her an artist score of a light 7.
Hell yeah. Yeah, my my tracks, or I did math for this one, and it averaged out at a 70.1. I was like, ooh.
Mine
Crazy.
was a 69.8, I think.
So. With 0.3 points separated us.
Rounded up.
That's great.
It's only because I gave a lower score to Reputation.
Yeah.
Stuff. But,
yours actually spread wider than I didn't have a single 9. You had
I had a couple 9s.
Nines.
Red and Folklore were both 9s.
Yeah.
I loved those records.
I really liked Folklore.
If I were to have either of those on record, it'd be if I were to have any of these records on vinyl, definitely Folklore. But Red maybe.
Yeah, I probably would get Folklore on vinyl too. To be honest, it's a good ass album.
It's great. But my album rankings: Folklore, Red, Evermore, Fearless, Speak Now, Midnights, Taylor Swift, 1989, Lover, and then Reputation.
All right, and mine is Folklore, Speak Now, Evermore, Fearless, Taylor's version, 1989, Taylor Swift, Lover, Red, Taylor's version, Midnights, and Reputation. I don't know why the numbers are all fucked up. But yeah, Midnights and Reputation at the end. And Red, 3 from the end.
It's wrong, but
yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah. It was a good listen, like I was saying, it's good to expand beyond. And my last FM now has 180 Taylor Swift songs. Tracks.
I hope you Swifties enjoyed two 21-year-old white boys talking about your music for mid-20 white girls.
Hell yeah.
Hope you enjoyed it. We enjoyed it for the most part.
Yeah, no, it was enjoyable.
It's time for Song of the Week, I'm assuming. I'm sure
Probably.
it is.
Yeah, it was a long one.
Yeah, not that long.
Not too bad.
But I'm gonna go with. I would go with something off of Folklore, but I think I'm gonna go with my favorite radio hit of hers. I'm gonna go with "You Belong with Me."
All right.
By Taylor Swift.
Sick.
Right, that was "You Belong With Me" by Taylor Swift. What'd you think, Mike?
Still like it. Yeah, like I said, I think that's my favorite of her radio hits. I mean, it's got a great guitar solo, which I forgot about until we heard it again. But just also great lyrics and great catchiness to it. Songwriting, it's just iconic all around, and it sounds good.
The vocals are great on that song. It's just, I don't know, man. I've liked that one since it came out.
I don't remember when it came out.
No? That was what? That was her second. That was 2008. I was kind of surprised by the fact that some of these songs came out when they did. I was like, I remember these songs from when I was 12 or 13. Yeah. But this song came out when we were 7 years old.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's kind of crazy to me, but I love that song. So
yeah,
there we go. What you got?
Cool. Well, I debated doing "Famous" by Kanye West. Can you imagine?
Cancel.
Yeah, I would just be. I think they would find my address at that point.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I definitely want to do something off Folklore. I did like Cardigan and Exile a little bit more than this song, but every time I come back to this album, this song just, I don't know, I really like the feeling it gives me. It's just really nice. So I'm going to go with Invisible String from Folklore.
All right.
By Taylor Swift.
Tying you to me.
All right, that was Invisible String. What'd you think of that, Colin?
Gorgeous. She
Yeah.
got a beautiful voice on that track. I love the fucking instrumentals. Just a gorgeous track. That's a whole gorgeous album. If you haven't listened to Folklore, go check it out.
Hell yeah.
If you like some nice singer-songwriter, guitar, piano, voice, that's pretty much it. Check that shit out.
Yeah, I just really love the guitar. I think it may be a special kind of guitar, but like I really love whatever's plucking in the background there. It just sounds so nice. The chords are nice, and then like the like it's just something about it's so soothing to me.
Yeah,
it's just really easy on the ears. I love it. But yeah, that's about it.
Great track. Do you want to decide who we do a bracket of next week? Right here, right now.
Oh shit! You're putting me on the spot. Taylor Swift.
180 songs.
Now we got familiarize ourselves with it.
180 song bracket.
Be a literal 5-hour episode.
And most of them just be like, I don't know.
It'd be us re-listening to the fucking songs like we did on Harry. What options do we have at this point? Do you remember?
Here, let me.
I know we at one point had talked about doing post Flower Boy Tyler.
True. Bracket.
So Flower Boy Igor and Call Me If You Get Lost. What else could we do?
Let's see here. I gave Harry Half Alive and the Backseat Lovers, but he said wait on Half Alive and the Backseat Lovers.
Yeah. Well, I think we said wait on Half Alive because of the album, didn't we?
Yes.
I would be comfortable doing Half Alive now. I think.
Oh yeah.
I have to re-listen to the album again just to. I still haven't really like solidified my thoughts on that album. I generally know how I feel, but I think I'd be able to do that one. There'll probably be a couple times when it comes to new tracks I'll be like, I need to listen live.
Yeah. There's a definitive winner there. But
yes. But the journey there may be interesting.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we can do that.
Cool.
All right. Half Alive bracket coming next week.
Hell
101,
yeah.
Baby. Half Alive 101 is my favorite college course.
Yes. Yeah. Cool. Cool. Well, thanks for sticking with us for 100 episodes.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy, guys. Thank you to those who've been around since the beginning. And thank you for the new people, the MILFs. They're here.
Swifties?
The Swifties.
Swifty MILFs?
Get Swifty. Oh, that also happened.
Oh, yeah.
Forgot to talk about that.
Yeah.
Justin Roiland got kicked off of Rick and Morty.
He got Swifty.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Got Swifty and beat the shit out of his wife.
Yeah.
Bad.
No bueno. Yeah.
Who would have thought? The
Yeah.
creator of Rick and Morty, the fucking brain who made the brainchild of Pickle Rick, dude, the funniest shit I've ever seen.
Funniest shit I've ever seen.
How could he have done that?
I don't know.
Who would have thought?
Not me.
Look at us. So this is our official audition to be the new Rick and Morty.
You kind of have Pickle Rick on your shirt.
Yeah,
Now, so.
we got 2 Pickle Ricks.
Okay. Wait, which one am I?
You go first.
Morty. Morty, this is...
You gotta talk louder. Can't hear you.
Morty, I'm being serious now. The episode's getting serious now. I have a drinking problem.
Oh! No!
I thought you... I thought you'd care about me because I'm like your grandpa. Morty,
Oh!
can you fucking speak?
Oh! Jeez! Rick! Morty!
Oh, Morty.
Oh,
Morty. All right, so that's our official audition for
Dan Harmon?
Yeah. Dan, I love Community, man.
Yeah, if you're listening.
Yeah.
I like the first couple of seasons of Rick and Morty, so...
yeah, Community Season 4 wasn't the same without you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Season 5, though, fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And the first 3 seasons? Come on.
Incredible. Phenomenal.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Dan Harmon,
Yeah, just
hire us.
yeah.
Rick and Morty. Don't need one person doing both voices.
Yeah.
We're done with that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Morty.
At first, I was like, that kind of sounds like Beavis and Butthead from the Kid Cudi album.
Yeah, Beavis and Butthead from Kid Cudi, yes.
Morty.
No, we need to pan our voices to do that. We're one's in one ear and one's in the other. So
do it right now.
Never-ending nightmare. Just, okay, wait. What's our... I forgot what the pan fucking function is.
Was it the red one?
No. Oh, it's this one. Okay. So... fuck. Alright. I'll...
Rick.
Morty. Okay.
ASMR Rick and Morty.
That'll be ASMR Beavis and Butthead Rick and Morty, not clickbait. Oh, Rick. If you guys enjoyed this episode, we need to stop this.
Yeah, we do.
If you enjoyed this episode, and you're on streaming services, thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's awesome. We
love
you.
you.
Love you. You can come over to YouTube though, and you'll get a whole bunch of other links. Not only will you get to see us, but you'll also get a whole bunch of links to our Song of the Week playlist, being one of them. We got them individually, and we got a combined one where you can go listen to Invisible String or You Belong With Me. Both
You Belong With Me.
Parasocially. The two songs by everyone's favorite Taylor Swift. And yeah, you got those. You got links to some of our individual stuff. I'm in a lot of places behind you. But I also, if you look hard enough, you'll see. But I got that. I make my own music as well. So you can go
Listen to it.
Check that out. Coping Mechanism.
Listen to it.
Not Willow. Yeah, keep an eye out for that as well. Thinking of things. I think I also have like Instagram on there, and I have my album of the year page where I review albums. You can check out all my Taylor Swift reviews. Will be there.
Check out his TikTok too.
Yeah, I think that's linked. I don't remember, to be honest. Something's down there. Yeah, but then Colin, he also has some stuff. He's got an Instagram review page that he uses very regularly.
Yes.
No dust in there at all. He has also got an album of the year page, as well as Letterboxd. And he also, sorry, I was trying to think if you, yeah, he also runs the Twitter page as well as the TikTok page, and that one you can go check out. That's definitely linked
for the podcast.
Yes, for the podcast. You don't want to see his private TikTok.
No.
You too.
I make thirst traps in there.
Yeah, they're just for me. Yeah, I think I feel like I missed something, but I guess there's links to podcast places where you can listen to us as well.
Both video and audio listeners.
Absolutely, we love
100
you
episodes,
to
baby.
death. Yeah.
I can't believe it. 100 episodes.
Woo!
Yeah, baby! That's what I'm talking about. Woo! Bye, guys.
Bye.